Previously on the Sonic Frontiers...
I didn't want this to be easy anyway.
Sonic, what is wrong with your leg? Oh, whoa. Wait.
Screw you, Angry Birds!
Well, here we are, Chaos Island. And, well, I'm not gonna lie. At this point of the game, I'd say it's actually been pretty good. Like, really good even. But then you get to Chaos and it's just... When I was playing the other islands in Sonic Frontiers, I was actually pretty surprised that there wasn't that much 2D in them. I mean, yes, Cyberspace does have some 2D. Compared to, like, at least the last decade of Sonic, 2D has been extremely prevalent throughout every single game. But I mean, so far, it seemed like there wasn't gonna be that much 2D in this game.
Oh no, they put it all the way on the fucking islands!
I swear to God, almost every single platforming segment in this goddamn island is in 2D. Now listen, on its own, this wouldn't be too bad of a thing, but let's just back it up. If we just stop and look at Sonic's control in the open world, you can make the sharpest turns that I have ever seen in a Sonic game. All of the combat moves that you've been unlocking since the very start of the game, the quick step, the stomp, the brand new feature to this game, the Psy-Loop, all of them are very important parts of the game, and they are all able to be used in the 3D parts of the worlds. But when you go into 2D, you can no longer use any of your combos except for the homing attack. The quick step is something that is physically impossible to be used in 2D, and the Psy-Loop, how the hell are you gonna draw a circle in 2D? And listen, facts are facts. In 2D, you can only move left and right. I have no problem with 2D in my 3D Sonic game. I have no problem with Sonic games that are exclusively 2D. My problem with this, in this specific game, the entire marketing has been you can go where you want, when you want. You have the freedom to go anywhere in these huge islands for basically the first time in Sonic history, and you, the player, you have the option to do anything that you want in these islands. When you lock the player into 2 dimensions, all of that is gone because you took 360 directions and reduced it to 2. So Sonic Team, just let me ask you this. What makes you think that making what is essentially a fourth of your game go completely against what is not only the whole point of the game, the marketing, and what all your fans like, but take away features that are in the exact same game that you're putting these features in? I just can't wrap my head around what is the point of having these 2D sections in the game to begin with. Is it less work to put 2D sections in? I mean, it would have to be if they were gonna go this far as to make what is essentially the entire island 2D. My only guess as to why this is all 2D is because Sonic is slower in 2D, which means because of that, the game will be longer because the third island is full of 2D sections. So Sonic Team's method to make the game longer is to do the literal opposite thing of what the game is trying to do. These are both two very backwards things that do not work with each other. I'd almost say that this is false advertising because you can't really say that the game is about freedom when in a fourth of it, you are definitely not free. Even when you do the things that you had no problem doing in the previous islands, now there's a whole lot more issues that come with that. So sometimes on the ground in the previous islands, there were these treasure chest icons. When you Psy-Loop them, you'll get a little reward. It can be a memory token, a portal gear, a key, stuff like that. However, on Chaos Island, it can be that, but most of the time, it's gonna be a dash pad or a spring, and because you expect it to be literally anything but those things, you're gonna stand right in the middle of it. And when you stand in the middle of it, you're gonna get launched with the thing that you definitely did not want to go on. So Chaos Island is not only going against the entire design of the game, but it is grabbing the player and forcing them somewhere that they do not want to be. Don't even fucking think about telling me that Big's Fishing is the solution to this. I am not letting an optional side mode excuse horrible design. And if you want to go to Big's Fishing on this island in particular, I'd say 9 times out of 10 you will run into a 2D section because 1, you have to search through the entire island to try and find Big's Fishing, and 2, the 2D sections are everywhere. Even something as simple as picking up a collectible just does not properly work. Oh my god. Are you fucking serious? Dude, this is why 2D does not work for this game. So yeah, for the entire game, I'd say Chaos Island is by far the lowest point of the game. But this island is not all bad. I think the setting is amazing. I'd even say that it's the most interesting one in the game. That being said, I am only comparing this to Sonic Frontiers and not other Sonic games because, say, compared to Sonic Colors or Unleashed, yeah, the whole game has nothing on those in particular, or most Sonic games. They're pretty boring aesthetics, but anyways. This is a volcanic island that is split up into smaller islands, and as you go around the island, small sparks and embers will appear on your screen, and they provide good detail for the setting. And if you climb one of the mountains in particular, it's actually covered in ice, which I think is pretty cool. I'm just sad that my favorite setting has by far the worst platforming. Oh yeah, and there's also some lava somewhere. Oh, okay. And what's weird actually, you can't go inside of this volcano. Even though it's the most distinguishable part of this island, you can't really go in it. And this doesn't count because there's nothing to do in here. However, just because you can't go inside of the volcano doesn't mean you can't make it to the top of it. Nope. Yes! Yes! Oh! Damn it! Yes, 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 yes! Yeah, no. Fuck. Oh my god, go. Oh my god. Oh! No! No! Yes! Yes! And next to those icy mountains, there's these weird dark pillar things that are shooting out of the ground. And, well, yeah, there's not a whole lot to do here, but it looks really cool. Oh, big jump. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And just like on the other islands, Cyberspace is here. And I think compared to the previous two, this one takes a pretty big hit in terms of the quality of the stages. There's two in particular that I really want to point out. This one is 100% 2D, and because Sonic just does not control good in 2D, and this level is like really long, and the level feels oddly designed, almost like it wasn't made for this kind of Sonic. But next is where we hit rock bottom. To me, the worst Cyberspace stage in the entire game. It is loosely based off of the drifting level in Savannah Citadel from Sonic Unleashed, and the key word in that is drift. Sonic Frontiers doesn't have a drift, unless it's this level. When you go off of these panels, Sonic will start drifting when you tilt the analog stick. The problem with this is by far the worst Sonic has ever controlled with the drift. Not only that, but it brings the flow of the level to a screeching halt every single time you go on one of these pads. The way that I recommend you play this level, and what is actually the faster route, is to jump over the panels and mash the boost button so then you can properly control yourself around the turns. That is the dumbest workaround ever. After using Cyberspace keys to get a Chaos Emerald, you then come face to face with the big, huge, scary fucking desk chair. But then something interesting happens. This time, Sonic's getaway is actually using Squid, which is one of the mini-bosses that you fought back on Kronos Island. That is a very creative way of reusing an idea and blending it together with another one. And with that, we begin our escape from the evil chair. Oh man, how is it gonna play out? It's in 2D. Why would you make this in 2D? You literally fight this same boss on this island and it's in 3D. Kronos Island, it was in 3D. Why would you change it for this one small section? Like, what was the point of it? Oh my god. It's an okay section. You run away from the saw blade. It's kind of fun. If it was in 3D, I feel like it would have been a lot more interesting. You could have even made it like that one boss from Sonic Colors. But really, this whole section, again, just proves how 2D just does not work with this kind of Sonic. The way that Sonic runs in 2D is significantly slower than how he runs in 3D. Jumping in 3D already doesn't feel that great, but when you do it in 2D, it feels even worse. More than ever, Sonic just comes to a complete stop. I will say I enjoyed this a little bit, but it's not the best. Since we're on this topic, let's talk about Squid. When you fight him on this island, it's basically the exact same as on Kronos Island, but because the mountains here go a lot higher than on Kronos, you can actually attack him from above and get a really big head start on him. Speaking of Squid, there's two mini bosses on this island that I want to point out. First of which being Spider. It wants you to side loop its legs, but for some reason the camera, it locks itself, so then it becomes really difficult to side loop it. It feels a little bit janky there, but then once you homing attack the head of him, he shoots you all the way up into the sky, and then you skydive down, and on the way down, you want to fly into these blue ring things, because once you reach the bottom, all of them crash into him and you're able to attack him. And at this point in the game, you're given a new move, Cross Slash. It is similar to the Sonic Boom, and I'm not sure if it's actually better than it, like it does more damage, but I like this move. Next up is Fortress. Honestly, I don't know how to activate him. I'm pretty sure when you just go to a specific point on the island, he just shows up. But anyways, this one is very similar to Squid, except this time you're on rails and you're going towards him, so not very creative. Once you get close close enough to him, he forms like the exact same platform that Squid uses. But the reason I want to point this out, if the Starfall event is active when you're fighting this thing, it is impossible to fight this thing and know what you're doing. Look at this footage. It is so difficult to know what is coming and react in time. And I guess on the topic of Starfall, let's talk about that. It's very annoying. It just stays on the screen with this big ass roulette table, and the only thing that you really get out of it is more Big's fishing tokens. And I mean, I guess that's helpful, but why can't we turn this off? Or can we at least make this go by a lot faster, because this goes on for like 5 minutes. It doesn't really do anything for me except for obscuring my view. And speaking of random stuff blocking my view, what the? No, I didn't mean it! There's also these birds on this island. At first, you might think that they're just a normal enemy, but actually, you're able to ride it if you parry its attack and then jump on it. And I gotta say, I felt like a genius when I skipped across this part of the island with the bird, except for when the Switch like blinded me. I don't know what this was. What the? Dude, can the Switch not handle clouds? This is burning my eye. However, the real way to get to this part of the island, you actually go underground there where you find a Chaos Emerald. And I really wish this game had more of the underground sections, because this is the last time that we see it in the game. And it's only like 3 times that you see it. And it's really interesting to run through this. What is happening? But then after this, you're able to get more of the Chaos Emeralds. One of them in particular, you have to break these boxes. And this mission was actually a lot of fun. The fact that the platforms fall after a little bit really puts a good amount of stress on the player to make them hurry up. And a fun strat that I found is to slide into the boxes, jump, and then stomp, which actually somehow instantly makes the box explode, if it's not too big. But then the next mission. This, honestly, was one of the most challenging parts of the game. Bridge the gap. Sonic jumps all the way up into the sky, and then you have to skydive down and avoid all these targets. This doesn't sound too complicated, but the timer is very strict on this one, which I really liked. I genuinely really liked the challenge of this one. It felt very fun while also being difficult, which, for example, compared to the Kronos Island mission, which, yes, it was difficult, I didn't really enjoy myself because I had no idea what the hell I was doing. In this one, it felt like if I didn't reach the ground in time, it was my fault. It felt to me like a mission that relied on skill and nothing else. However, I bring up these 2 missions in particular because the song that plays in it is so good. Besides the Titan themes, this is my favorite song in the game. I implore all of you to go and listen to this song. Bridge the Gap is amazing. And with all of that out of the way, it's time to do the last puzzle of this island, the Island Mystery.
Oh my god!
And for this mystery, it's just fucking pinball! And not just any pinball, bad pinball. Whenever the flippers hit the ball, the movement just feels super unnatural. And it requires 5 million points! With all of the other missions in the game, they at least all felt like it relied at least a little bit on skill. If you fail in this, however, it doesn't really feel like it's your fault because the ball has a mind of its own and it just goes wherever the hell it wants. Oh, yes, finally! No! Now that we're out of that mess, the lava from the volcano parts a path through all the way down to a crater, and the evil chair himself resides in this crater. Ow. Bro, what the fuck? Whoa, holy shit! Oh my god, is that possible? Whoa, that may be a little too low. Oh! Alright, here we go, we're making it to the top! No! Okay, we're still in this, Make it, okay. Oh. Okay, we're good.
I'm here to go beyond my limit, not to compromise. And you can tell me.
And here we are with another Titan battle. While I don't think this reaches the scope of Wyvern, this is so cool. How do you make a chair even more badass? You give it a sword. Not only that, but you make his arm a shield, which also doubles as a saw blade. And then you make the chair throw the saw blade at you, you parry it away, a whole bunch of adrenaline inside of you starts rising up as you see a bunch of missiles zooming towards you, and then ride it down and drill it into its face. Although, a weird quirk about him is that he has like roller skates.
They're air shoes.
The side loop also makes a return here. This time when you use it, yellow spears shoot up from the ground and stab him through the back. But then if you use it one more time, a trident forms in the sky and stabs him through the chest and shoots him all the way down towards the ground. I never wanted to destroy a chair more in my life. But then something new happens. Something exclusive to this boss in particular. His saw blade starts bouncing around the crater, and this creates a puzzle of sorts where you have to parry the shield and then aim it back at him. I thought this was actually really unique and interesting because we've never really seen this in any of the Titan battles. And then we have the music. The previous 2 Titan themes were sung by Cullen Quinn of Sleeping with Sirens. Joining him for this song is Tyler Smith, who sang the Infinite song, as well as the Fist Bump Edgy remix. Both of those are fantastic songs, and he does an even better job here. This song is fast-paced, full of energy, and when Kellen Quinn screams the chorus of this song, it just hits right. However, what I think this boss excels at compared to every other Titan battle is the spectacle of all of the cutscenes. Even when Sonic gets hit backwards, there's an additional cutscene where he shakes himself off and gets back up. But this next cutscene is one of my favorites. So in this cutscene, Sonic goes fucking crazy and ping-pongs around every single one of his legs over and over until he topples over, and then uppercuts the shit out of this guy, and then heel spikes him right in the fucking face. Even the cutscene where Sonic parries away the saw blade and then jumps on it looks amazing. And the chair can also parry away the attack. This is so damn cool. And then Sonic, with his bare hands, is able to stop a sword 100 times his size from slicing him in half. And he's even able to push it away from
You want to see something cool?
And you know what? Let's just get serious for a second. This next part really, really is important to me. Sonic and the Black Knight is my favorite Sonic game. And when Sonic side-looped the sword, and for the first time in over 13 years, he picked up a sword again and sliced this thing in half, I genuinely started crying. Chaos Island may not have been all that great, but it ended on a hell of a good note.
You should kill yourself now!